feel this rush deep in my chest. Your mercy is calling down. Just as I am, you pull me in, and I know I need you now. Run to Father, fall into
test. One we've seen. Test. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to all of you that are on Facebook with us right now. We are live, so let's welcome everybody to this event. All right, let's do that. Awesome. Here on campus as well as Facebook Live. Hey, I'm going to pray. I'm going to give you a few instructions, let you know what's happening, and then we're going to go right to the event that's already started. It has already started to show some videos, which they'll replay. I'm so glad that you're joining us. Hey, while you're there and you're plugged in, why don't you go ahead and make a comment And why don't you put in there, I'm here, so glad to be here. Why don't you still have time to invite someone to come with you and to be a part of this. You can host a watch party right now in this event. There's a lot to show tonight. There's a lot going on. And so we're also prepared if the feed goes down. If the feed goes down from where it is sent from us, don't worry, don't go anywhere, don't click off, because we have a backup plan. We still have things to go on. We are well prepared, but we are so delighted that you're here. I'm so glad that you're here. Our student ministries are here. Folks are here on campus that decided to come out, but many of you are at home right now or wherever you are watching this, but we can tell because you have let us know by commenting and just plugging in. So why don't you do that? Why don't you give us a thumbs up? Why don't you go ahead and make a comment? And why don't you put in the comments right now, I am so glad to be here. Why don't you do that? And why don't you give us a thumbs up? Go ahead and like, set your notifications, all that good stuff. But we're so glad that you're here. Glad that you're here as well tonight. And we're going to dim some lights up here on the platform. And what you're going to see is not going to be what's happening on campus here. You're actually going to get the feed right directly to you. And so it's not like you're watching a screen. So in just a moment, we're going to cut right to that, but you won't lose anything. I promise you it'll be real time. And I am so glad that you showed up today. I appreciate that, and God is honored. We can't wait to see how God is going to work today and tonight. And we are so thankful for Mark and Tina Hagan. We love them. We are so honored to be able to partner with Sauruni International. We're so glad to have met just a couple of months ago, or at least a month ago. They've been here at our church. They've spoken. They've shared their hearts. And now we're really partnering with them and co-laboring with them. And that's why we've invited you, because we want you to see what God's doing in Kenya, Africa. So thank you for your time. Thanks for being a part of this. We know that it is not wasted. God is going to be honored. So students, thank you for being here. So glad you could be a part of this. And this is going to really speak to your heart, because a lot of these that we're dealing with are kids or children and girls your age or younger. And so we're very thankful that you're here. Why don't I go to the Lord in prayer, and then we're going to cut right to the feed, all right? Let's pray. Father, we love you. Thank you for the opportunity to minister outside the walls of a church, way beyond our address, our physical address, to be able to do what the Bible has called us to do, and that is to go into all the world and preach the gospel. That's what this is about. It's about bringing hope to the hopeless. It's about being a father to the fatherless. It's about helping people where they are. And so, God, we're so honored that you have allowed us to connect with Mark and Tina and their ministry that you have put on their heart. And now we are able to co-labor with them and partner with them. So, Father, thank you for everyone that has joined us. We look forward to an awesome night, just celebrating your goodness, but also for our heart to be moved towards the fact that there are people in other parts of the world that are hurting, and they need a voice. They need someone to stand up and speak up for them and to give them the truth of God's word. And that is why we want to partner with Sauruni International. So, Father, we love you and thank you for this evening. In Christ's name I pray, amen. God bless you.
Good evening, everyone. The Sauruni virtual gala will begin in 15 minutes. If you need any help whatsoever with technology and bidding, please see the slide and reach out as we have people waiting to help you. Thank you so much, and we will see you in 15 minutes.
My most impactful moment at Sauruni was when our daughter, who we were sponsoring, found out that she had sponsors. We were all in a big room. The girls were putting on a dance and song show for us, and then at the end they came and got us, and we were all dancing with them. We had not made the decision to sponsor a girl until we were actually there, and so we were told you can actually pick which of these 4 girls you want. And so we picked Joylene, and I'd been watching her for a couple of days, just knowing that she was going to be a part of our life. So when Tina announced that Joylene had sponsors, Wayne and I happened to be on either side of her holding her hand. So we're looking at her, and her eyes welled up with tears. And then Tina said, and your sponsors are standing on either side of you holding your hand. And she looked up at us with these huge crocodile tears, and we got crocodile tears, and it was just a most amazing moment for me.
It was also my most amazing moment. And I think the only thing I can add to that is that the older girls who already had sponsors really understood the significance of getting a sponsor. And you could see the tears and the happiness and the joy in their eyes, knowing that Jolene had a sponsor. And again, I think the important part is that now Jolene has hope. Now Jolene knows there's somebody out there that cares enough for her to actually send money every month to make sure that she's fed, that she has clothing, and that the rest of her life now is totally different. So it was an amazing experience to get to be there, to get to share the tears of joy and the happiness. It was an awesome, awesome day for us.
The most impactful thing at the GRC is the girls. Susan and I were blessed to be able to be at the rescue center when the girls were home from school, and to see the amazing joy that those girls show every day with everything they've been through is truly amazing.
What impacted me the most was just getting to meet them and get to know them after I had prayed for them for so many years, and just knowing what they've been through in their young little lives and how innocent they are and how grateful and how much love they have was just incredible.
I first got involved with Sauruni about 5 years ago when I got the opportunity to go to the Girls Rescue Center. and I loved getting to know the girls and seeing what Sauruni does firsthand. When I got back, I expressed interest in being more involved, and I was offered the sponsorship director position. So I have been facilitating communication between the girls and their sponsors, as well as just familiarizing people with the sponsorship program ever since then. And I actually got to go back to Kenya and meet more of the girls, including the girl that I had been sponsoring a couple of years ago. And that was just great. So I love being involved in Sauruni and look forward to what's next.
My name is Emily Kraft, and I visited the GRC a couple years ago. What I loved was seeing all of the positive ways that Sauruni impacts the community around them. When I was there, I participated in a vision clinic, and we handed out eyeglasses to a lot of the locals within the community. They also do sports clinics at the schools with the children and provide jobs to a lot of the locals as well. I sincerely hope you enjoyed tonight's gala. It's a wonderful opportunity to learn more about the girls and the GRC, and thank you so much for any way that you can partner with us in rescuing more girls. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you to the following corporate sponsors: Gail Coleman, Realtor, Berkshire Hathaway, Greeley, Colorado; West Point Interiors, Greeley, Colorado; Valley Fire Extinguisher, Greeley, Colorado; Nordy's Barbecue, Loveland, Colorado; Great Western Dairy, Eaton, Colorado; Dory Workman, Sears Real Estate, Greeley, Colorado; Happy Life Gardens, Evans, Colorado; West Bank Dental, Austin, Texas; Campbell Chiropractic, Greeley, Colorado; Dr. Lisa Anderson, Greeley, Colorado; Dairy Specialists, Greeley, Colorado; Gentry Farms, Sterling, Colorado; Lucerne Incorporated, Lucerne, Colorado; Bessler Homes, Greeley, Colorado; Soar, Greeley, Colorado; Coyote's Southwestern Grill and Palomino's Mexican Restaurant, Evans, Colorado; 5280 Stone Company, Frederick, Colorado; M&O Tires, Greeley, Colorado; Randall Sorensen and Michelle Izzy, Greeley, Colorado. A special thank you to the following: Zoe's Event Center, Greeley, Colorado; The Owl's Nest, Franktown, Colorado; Coffee House 1024, Eaton, Colorado; Mission Tours and Travel, Nairobi, Kenya; Network Beyond, Greeley, Colorado; Canty Goods, Austin, Texas;
Hello, everyone. Just a reminder that the Sauruni Virtual Gala will begin in 5 minutes. We are so happy you are joining us this evening and wanted to let you know if you need any help with technology, please refer to the slide and do reach out as we have people waiting to help you with whatever you need. Thank you so much, and we will see you in 5 minutes. Good evening, everyone. Our program will begin in 1 minute. If you need help with any technology needs, please do refer to the slide and reach out as we have people who are waiting to help you with whatever you need. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you in 1 minute.
Oh, Amjambo Watuwote. Welcome, everybody. How are you? As we say in Kenya, Karibu Sana. We're so happy to have you join us tonight for our very first virtual gala. Now more than ever, to benefit the girls at the Kenya Girls Rescue Center in Ololoitikashi, Kenya. I'm Mark Hagan, and this is my wife, Tina. And we are co-founders and directors of Sauruni International, your hosts for this evening. You know, because of COVID, we can't have all of our live events that we have on a typical year, and we really miss them. But we're going to make the most of it, and we think you're going to have fun tonight. You're going to learn a lot about what we do, and you're going to have an opportunity to get involved.
Wait, we got to do one thing. Okay, it's difficult not being in person, but this is still going to be a great night. But we appreciate all of you that are watching and so many of you that have come to our Sauruni dinners the last few years. So I'm just going to send you a big virtual hug, okay? Here comes a hug for you guys. Okay, I feel better now. Now we can go.
Okay, we're going to ask another member of our Sauruni team to help us out right now with a very important introduction. So, Mike, be careful, but take it away.
Go, Mike.
Good evening. Welcome and thank you for being here. If you've been around to the last Sauruni dinners, you'll recognize me as the Maasai that does the auctioneering. But because of COVID, we can't do that this evening. So I'm going to pass you off to Debbie, who will take very good care of you the rest of the night. In America, we talk about passing the baton, but in the Maasai, we pass the spear.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much. My name is Debbie Shear, and I will be your partner in fundraising tonight. And it is my honor to be here with all of you. So thank you, Mike, for passing the spear. I'm passing it back to my trusted young Maasai warrior to keep it safe. So welcome to the first ever virtual gala for Sauruni International. This is so exciting. Now, before we get too far down the road, I do have one piece of technology advice for you. You know, it can be a little bit difficult if you try to watch and bid and donate on the same device. So what I would recommend you do is possibly watch on your laptop or your smart TV or your desktop and go ahead and bid and participate that way on your cell phone. So we'd also like to ask, I'm going to ask you to do something that's so simple right now. It will not cost you a penny, and it will only take just a second of your time. So I'm going to ask for everybody who's joining us tonight to look down, lean in a little bit more, and hit share. Share this broadcast out to your community of friends, your community, your family, everybody, because the more people that we can share this event with, the more we can spread the mission and the good work that Sauruni International is doing. So thank you for doing that. We really appreciate you expanding our reach. So, you know, our program tonight, yes, it looks a little bit different, and it's going to have some different parts to it. So first, we're going to explain, why are we doing this virtually? And Mark did give a little insight into that, and we'll go a little bit deeper. Then we're going to help you get signed up, make sure that you're able to participate and make contributions. Next, we're going to, of course, share the story of Sauruni International, the reason that they exist in the first place, and what they're doing to help young girls in Kenya. We're also going to see a couple of short videos for you and hear from some of the staff from Christian Mission Aid who are partners with Sauruni in Kenya. After the videos, we are going to conduct our traditional knockout round, but we're going to do it virtually. Then we're going to quickly wrap up, and you'll be able to enjoy the rest of your evening. So again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Now, I do want to catch everybody up to speed on what we're doing here, right? What are we doing virtually? So as we know, the coronavirus, it's forced nonprofits all over the country, all over the world, honestly, to make some tough decisions, to either postpone their events, to completely abandon their plans for their galas, their fundraising events. And so, the board of Sauruni International had to really make some difficult, really difficult and big decisions. And should they postpone, not knowing when this would pass, when it would be safe for all of us to gather in person, or should they cancel and skip this year's altogether? Well, because we don't know, postponing was not an option. And of course, canceling is just, would have such negative repercussions, not only on the mission and the work that Sauruni International is doing, but ultimately on the girls. So they decided to hold this virtually, and that's why we're here, and that's why you're here. So thank you so much for joining us tonight. Now, moving on to item number 2 of our agenda. I want to make sure that you know how to bid and if you need any help. So 1, visit bidpal.net/Sauruni. Bidpal, BIDPAL.net, NET/Sauruni, SARUNI. And then there you're going to click sign in and follow the instructions. Or we have another way for you to do it. Text the word Sauruni to 243-735. So 2 ways for you to make sure that you're able to participate and donate tonight. Also, if you have any technical challenge whatsoever, don't call me because I won't know how to help you, but we do have somebody who can help you. If you need any technical support, please call or text Paul, 970-539-2527. He will be able to help you with whatever you need, unless it's like, if you can't work the remote control, I don't know, maybe he can help you with that as well. We'll see. Really test his skill set there. So 970-539-2527 if you need any technical support at all. And of course, we want to give just a huge shout out and a thank you to all of our sponsors. We could not continue to do this work without them. And you know what? It's true. I mean, coronavirus has impacted everybody, every organization, and it's really dramatically shifted the world of our sponsors. Some of our sponsors, they've lost revenue. They had to, let people go, which is really devastating. It changes everything. But what's amazing is they have never forgotten Sauruni International. And even during these difficult times, they have continued to show up and support Sauruni. So thank you so much of our sponsors to our sponsors. And because of their overwhelmingly generous support, this event was completely paid for before we ever came online tonight. That's amazing. And it's also kind of unheard of. So we have some phenomenal sponsors to thank. And just a reminder to them, let's show them some love as well, right? If one of our sponsors has a service or offers something that you need, support them. That will go such a long way, and it will send the message that we have their back just as they have ours, right? So please give a big round of support or applause to all of our sponsors. Thank you so much, Gail Coleman, Realtor, Greeley, Colorado. West Point Carpet One, Greeley, Colorado. Thank you, Valley Fire Extinguisher, Greeley, Colorado. Thank you, Nordy's Best Barbecue in Loveland, Colorado. Thank you to Great Western Dairy in Eaton, Colorado. Thank you to Sears Real Estate, Dory Workman, Greeley, Colorado. Thank you, Happy Life Gardens, Evans, Colorado. Thank you to West Bank Dental out of Austin, Texas. Thank you to Campbell Chiropractic out of Greeley, Colorado. Thank you to Dr. Lisa Anderson in Greeley, Colorado. Thank you, Dairy Specialists out of Greeley, Colorado. Thank you to Gentry Farms out of Sterling, Colorado. Thank you, Lucerne Inc. out of Lucerne, Colorado. Thank you so much, Bessler Homes out of Greeley, Colorado. Thank you, Soar Athletics, Greeley, Colorado. Thank you to Coyote Southwestern Grill and Palomino Mexican Restaurant out of Evans, Colorado. Thank you to 5280 Stone out of Frederick, Colorado. Thank you, M&O Tires out of Greeley, Colorado. Thank you, Randall Sorensen and Michelle Izzy out of Greeley, Colorado. And of course, a special thank you to Zoe's in Greeley, Colorado, Network Beyond out of Greeley, 1024 Eaton, Colorado, Canty in Austin, Texas, the Owl's Nest in Franktown, Colorado, and Mission Foreign Travel out of Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you so very much. Now, it is my pleasure to reintroduce back to the virtual stage Mark and Tina Hagan, the co-founders and of course directors of Sauruni International. Well, hello, you two.
Hi.
How are you doing tonight at your first virtual gala? How are you feeling?
We're doing well, thanks.
We're excited.
Yeah, excited.
So exciting. Well, thank you. You know, I wanted to start and ask you a question. I have to admit, I've not heard the word Sauruni before, and I would love if you could just, tell us what that word means.
Sure. Sauruni is actually a Maasai name, and the Maasai are a very fierce, regal, proud tribe that lives both in Kenya and Tanzania. And the literal meaning of the name Sauruni is the one who rescues. Mm. And in 2008, it's a name that a group of warriors gave to me.
Wow.
And I was really humbled to receive that name. In the world we work in, among the Maasai, Sauruni is the perfect name for us to name our organization because it's known by the people we work with, and it also is a name that they're familiar with. However, we use it for another name, for another reason. We use it as Sauruni because we are a Christ-honoring organization. Sauruni, the name of the one who actually rescued all of us. So it's a perfect name for what we do.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, I've heard you've used the word rescue a few times, just in explaining this. And there are many people who understand and know your organization and exactly what you do, but there are some people who might be joining us for the first time tonight, which is very exciting. So could you take a little bit of time and share with us what exactly Sauruni International does?
Sure. Technically speaking, Sauruni International is a Colorado 501c3 nonprofit organization whose main purpose is to raise funds for the Ololoitikashi Girls Rescue Center in Kenya. And we are governed by a board of directors. And that's enough of the technical side. Let's get to the practical side. That is that we work hand in hand with our partner in Kenya. You mentioned them before, Christian Mission Aid in Nairobi. From now on, we're just going to refer to them as CMA because you're going to hear their names a lot. So in 2008, we were actually in Kenya trying to find a place to establish an orphanage. And we met with the CMA founders, and we soon discovered that there was no known organization that was doing anything specifically for the girl child in Kenya. And actually, a young girl in Kenya really is born into a life of a lot of abuse and cultural practices that really have the deck stacked against young girls. We've heard many times, and we've seen with our own eyes, that young girls are to be seen, not heard, and that there was no one, absolutely no one, that was doing anything to give them protection from social injustices. So we came together with CMA to start an organization to provide a place to rescue and to help these young girls and rescue them from the abuses of their childhood. Actually, the Ololoitikashi Girls Center was started as a joint venture, and our purpose is to rescue young girls from female genital mutilation, which we will call from now on FGM, and from early childhood marriages. FGM is also commonly known as female circumcision, and in Kenya, it's simply referred to as the cut. It's very common among a lot of the tribes of Kenya, and it actually is given, it's not an operation. So this abuse is really given to young girls from the ages of about 6 to 14. It's very cruel. It's painful. It's psychologically and physically damaging. And in many cases, it actually leads to death. It's not a medical procedure. It's not given with any antiseptic. It's not given any anesthesia. And it's commonly performed by an older woman who is simply known as a cutter. And she uses extremely, extremely crude instruments and tools.
So Debbie, FGM is a rite of passage into womanhood. So when these young girls go through this brutal practice, once they have healed up, then they're considered a woman, and then they're considered old enough to get married. Now these girls could be 8, 10, 12 years old. We've actually rescued 4 8-year-olds, 1 7-year-old actually. Excuse me, the girl child's primary value is the dowry that she will bring her father from her wedding. It's very likely that this young girl will be married off to an older man that's in his 60 or 70 years old. She'll be the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, even sometimes the 5th wife. She has no future. Her role is just to be a work slave, a sex slave. She's the one that gathers the food, the firewood, and the water from many miles, 5 to 10 kilometers. She never has the opportunity now to have an education, a career, or any voice in her future and the life ahead of her.
So go back to Sauruni, Debbie. Sauruni, actually, our organization raises 95% of all of the resources that are needed at the rescue center. And because we have such a great relationship working with CMA, and we have the same values and we have the same work way that we do our job, that our efficiency is really up. And I can tell you that this is, I think we're really proud of this, but 95 cents of every dollar that is given to Sauruni goes directly to the work at the rescue center. That's an amazing number.
Yeah, that is, and that makes people feel really good who are watching, that they where their money is going. That's so important. Tina, while you were explaining this, it's so hard to listen to that. I mean, we really do need to name that. It's very difficult to hear these stories, and what we're doing is we're learning the truth, right? So I just want to thank you for naming the truth and doing something about it. And I'm wondering if you could explain a little bit more, how do these girls grow up in this culture? What is that like for them?
So just being a girl is very, very hard. The girl child faces many, many hardships. Like I mentioned before, at a young age, she learns to carry wood on her back. They start her off with little bundles. As she gets bigger, the bundles get bigger. As she becomes older, then there's a bigger bundle. This is the life of a woman. So she's being trained from a young age that she's going to be a workhorse. She learns young that her only value is this dowry that she will bring her father. This is a dowry of goats and cows and some honey and some beer. And that's her value. That's because she is a girl. She doesn't need an education anymore, because if she's going to be a wife and just be doing chores, why would she need an education? Where we rescue these girls, there's a lot of poverty. Funds are limited, so the boy child is preferred. He'll get to go to school. She won't get to go to school if there's not enough money. When we opened in 2008, only 65% of girls ever started like primary school. only 25% go on to high school, and only 2% have ever graduated. Now it's gotten a little better, but those are some of the obstacles that are facing the girl. But then as this young girl reaches puberty, she has more hardship because she's a girl. She's a poor girl, as most of our girls are. She lacks sanitary supplies. So during that week, she just stays home, and she's just at home. So she misses out on some schoolwork, some exams. Her father looks at her and says, well, you're not doing well the exams. Why should I invest in you and pay school fees? All because she's a girl. In rural areas, where we work, 90% of these girls go under the cut. 10% die. That's 1 in 10. We're just saying it like it is. This is a hard reality, I know, and this is hard to hear if you haven't heard this before. Many girls have problems for the rest of their life. It's a high HIV area. They have problems giving birth later. They have infections. They have urinary tract issues. It just goes on and on. All of this is just because she's a girl.
It is hard to hear, but I often find that things are really hard to hear when we don't feel like there's any hope attached to it. But there is hope attached to your message and what you're sharing. And so, Mark, I'd love for you to explain a little bit, how do you rescue the girls? And then what happens? This is where I think the real hope starts to flourish, right? What happens after they are rescued?
Well, we work on what we have developed with Sauruni, what we call our 3 R's. And our first R stands for rescue. And so what we do is we get word from CMA that there's a situation where a young girl really needs to be rescued. And they may have found that information from the Kenyan government or from a pastor or from a teacher, and they find out. And they say, we have a girl that really have to be rescued. If we have emergency funds, or if we have a sponsor in place, then we say, great, go get that girl and bring her to the center as quick as you can. There are times when we get word of a very, very tragic situation where a girl's life might be in danger, and we don't have that sponsor or we don't have emergency funds in place. So what we do then is we step out in faith and we say, go get that girl, save her life, and we will find a sponsor. And to date, we've not had a single girl that didn't come up with a sponsor when she needed it. I think that that's a huge testimony to our mission. Both FGM and childhood marriages are illegal in Kenya. They're against the Constitution, but they're really practiced profusely. It's all over the place. So when CMA has to do a rescue, they always go with members of the Kenya Police Force, and they'll take someone along, an officer from one of the ministries, maybe the Ministry of Children or the Ministry of Health, Ministry of Gender, and they can go and rescue these girls. And I have to tell you that to date, we've never had any retaliation from the family because they know that they could be put in jail or prison for doing what they do. Our second R stands for restore. And so what you need to do is you need to understand that when these girls are brought to the center, they're scared to death because they've lost everything that's familiar to them. They've lost their home, they've lost their friends, their family, and they come and they are just frightened. They don't know where they're going to come. So it takes a while for us to see these girls transition from a frightened little girl into one that has enough confidence to really start understanding where she's at. When she comes, the first thing we try to do is we try to restore them physically first. We have to make them healthy. Then we restore them emotionally. We have to give them some counseling. We try to help them emotionally. And then finally, we restore them spiritually. And that's where we really start seeing a lot of results. A lot of our girls have never attended school when we get them. So we provide schooling and counseling. We provide love, health care, you name it. We try to give them whatever they can so that they can live a life in a place that they understand where they're really safe. For the first time in their life, they know they're safe. Our rescue center is located about out in the bush of Kenya. And we have a dining room, we have beautiful dorms, we have good food, we have clean water, we actually have showers, and we have toilets that flush. And these are things that these girls have never experienced. And very quickly, it becomes a haven to them, a place where they understand that they are very blessed to be there. During the time that these girls are at the center, we see them go from sick, abused, and drained little girls into healthy, confident, and joyful young women. And as they get closer to graduate from high school, they start to understand that they do have constitutional rights and human rights that protect them from both FGM and early marriages. And then they take that message back home with them. A very important part of our restoring a young girl is to have reconciliation with the family. So we work to try to reconcile the family. Now, it's not an easy task because in most cases, these young girls have never been seen as a valued person. They've been seen as a commodity. And so after a while, and it's safe for them to go home for, I'm going to say, a very short visit, very short, we send them home under supervision, and all of a sudden their fathers see them as intelligent, educated, confident, and they're no longer seen just as a commodity. Now they're seen actually as a human being. And then our third R, the last R, is actually for releasing. So it's our job and our dream is to be able to release them back into their families and back into their communities. Mm-hmm. We have started a transition program, which Tina is the director of, that gives them an opportunity after high school to go on to higher education. Now in Kenya, that's typically maybe a vocational college of some sort, where they can go and they can learn some skills that will help them in life. We have had pretty good success with this transition strategy. The key to that is to give these girls a foundation based in Christian love and give them some life-giving principles that they can stand on. So I'm going to go back to that name, Sauruni, a little bit. When you hear that story, I'm going to bring back that it's not Mark and Tina, it's not our team that rescues these girls. It's their Lord Sauruni that rescues them. And he's the one who gives them that hope and that future that they need.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. Thank you. And I mean, when I'm listening to you, it's not only the girls that you're rescuing, right? But when you're bringing in families and really changing entire family structures, so these girls do have value, and that's so. It's just very moving to hear it. What that must mean for somebody, right, who's never felt that way before. That is totally life-changing. And I've heard you mention sponsor a few times now. And I'm wondering if you could, tell us, for people who might not know what that means in this context, what does sponsorship mean?
Well, I'd be happy to. Sponsorships, people think of a dollar amount right away, but sponsorships are about a whole lot more than the money. When you sponsor a girl, you are investing in her life. The girl, for the first time, realizes that someone has her back, that someone is willing to invest in her. So now, instead of being the investment for the family, she is invested in. And that gives her so much hope. It just changes her completely. Our actual cost, Sauruni's cost to sponsor a girl is $3,200 a year. That's our actual cost. So Sauruni does not add one dime to that because we just want to have girls rescued. That covers their medical, their dental, their food, their school fees, their uniform, their transport, everything she needs to live. You think about what it might cost you to raise your own child in the States, it's a lot more than that. There's a lot of ways to sponsor a girl. I know that's a big chunk, but we have groups, we have families, like 2 or 3 families might come together, a book club, a Sunday school class, an office group. There's a lot of ways to do it. We even have one group that there's 10 people that sponsor the same girl. But a really important part I have to mention about sponsoring is writing letters. I wish you could see what mail call is like there. The girls wait in anticipation for their letters. We personally take the letters in our suitcases with us 3 or 4 times a year as we travel back and forth. We're like carrying the gold with us. And their little faces at mail call, they're just so excited. And the sponsor is such an opportunity in those letters to get to know their daughter, to encourage them, to let her know that they've got her back. You know, it's interesting. The girls, the sponsors are so meaningful to them. I had so many girls that asked me, Mama Tina, when COVID hit, they said, Mama Tina, is my sponsor in America okay? They were worried about their sponsors. So sponsors, they play a huge role. If you're interested in sponsoring a girl, oh, there it is. Look how techie I am. You can email Maggie, our sponsor director, at SauruniSponsorships@gmail.com. She'll answer any questions you have, and she'll explain more of the program to you.
You know, Debbie, I think this might be a good time for us to watch a video from our program manager in Kenya. A lot of our people watching tonight have met this man. I call him my brother, a wonderful, wonderful man, Jacob Ouma, and it'd be good to hear his perspective.
Hello, my name is Jacob Auma. I work for Christian Mission Aid as the program director. And what I do is to work with outreach ministries, adult literacy, schools programs, and other CMA ministries. The Girls Rescue Center is actually one of my major services as well, as I do it with the police of the country, the children's department, the pastors, women group leaders, and even teachers. The partnership between Christian Mission Aid and Sauruni was started in the year 2008. There were issues to be addressed, and all these issues were affecting the girl child in Kenya. One of them was the female genital mutilation, which is known as female circumcision. This circumcision is carried out on girls from the ages of 6 to 8, and it is done in the village. 50% of the girls who go through circumcision are threatened with death due to bleeding, infections, and about 45% of them suffer from fistula after the operation. The second thing was the forced marriage. From the age of 8 after the female circumcision, culturally the minor is ready for marriage to a man who might be 70 years, and the same child is exposed to look after goats, sheep, and she will walk long distances, between 5 to 10 miles, going to look for water and firewood. Since COVID came in this year, a lot of girls have suffered another menace of teenage pregnancies, which are on the increase so badly. It is estimated by the Ministry of Education that 13,000 girls will drop out of school by the year 2021. Female genital mutilation is a big hindrance to their development to their education, and to their future. The second problem is the forced early marriage. When I talk of forced early marriage, it is a real early marriage in the sense that the girls are married off between the ages of 8 and 12 years. Imagine an old man of 70 years marrying a girl of 12 years. As a result of early marriage, the future of these girls are completely, and I mean completely, ruined. They don't have any hope. And that is why Sauruni International came in very strongly to be part and parcel of solving this problem. Up to date, we have rescued 117 girls. And all these girls have hope. They have a future. Some of them are working. Some of them are married. Some of them have stood for the truth to tell people that girls need their equal rights. And this brings me to the question, why do we need the center? Do we really need to have a girls' rescue center that Sauruni is talking about today? The answer is yes. We need the center because it is the hope to an African girl going through circumcision. It is the hope to save a girl child from forced marriage. The hope to provide education, food, and better future. And from between the year 2008 and 2020, what has Sauruni and CMA have done? In that period alone, we have rescued 117 girls. Sauruni needs you more than ever. Sauruni needs you more than before so that you can help save a life. Saving a life is an eternal investment. Saving a life is rescuing one girl who would have perished today if you don't offer a hand. It is a life-saving and giving a future to one. There are so many girls crying out in the bush. Some are running on the road. Some are hiding in the forest. And all they need is a hand. And that hand can lift them up and give them a future. My friend, we need you more than ever. Sauruni needs you more than ever. CMA needs you more than ever. Sauruni is willing to take the initiative to ensure that the girls are fully sponsored. Why don't you give a hand and just say, yes, I want to sponsor one girl. Give us a hand and we will sponsor a girl, and it is going to be your eternal investment. We need your hand. Just come and help us do it now so that we can save that crying child. We can save that running child. We can save that child hiding in the bush. Give us a hand. Thank you.
You know, it's so, I mean, thank you, Mark and Tina, for sharing that. It's so helpful to hear from people who are there on the ground, day in and day out, to really get a sense. You know, I'm still thinking about what you said, Tina. You know, these girls come to the center for the first time, and it might be the first time they've seen a flushing toilet. Things that we take for granted every single moment of the day of our lives here. That's not the story. Could you share a little bit about, I mean, it's so different. It's hard for a lot of people to wrap their head around truly how different life is.
You know, it really is, Debbie. We, in America, we live in a bubble. This year has been hard for America on many fronts and hard for the whole world. When there's a crisis, though, America, we still have some resources. Third world countries, their resources are limited. In a pandemic like we're in right now, resources become so scarce. In a crisis, the vulnerable become more vulnerable. That's so hard to believe, but it's true. Because of the pandemic, our girls' rescue home was shut down for a little while. The girls were sent home to protect them from COVID. We were constantly, each one of our girls was receiving money that their sponsors had provided, but it was still difficult for them to get food. We had about 20, 21 girls in one area, a very, very dry area. They had to walk miles and miles to get food. And then floods came and they couldn't get across the rivers. I mean, it was just one obstacle after another. And we found out that some of these girls literally were starving. And so we got special permission. The government worked with us. We brought them back to the GRC. And so we have, some of them have returned there and now they're okay. They've put weight back on. But it's hard for us to picture those things here in America. But not only do these girls face these two huge obstacles of FGM and early childhood marriage, but all of this happens in the backdrop of poverty. So not only do they have these two main issues, but just getting food and water, trying to have an education. When funds are scarce, there is no education. Basic education is out of reach for those in poverty. Our wonderful social worker, Emily, is going to share her story here in just a minute of rescuing a couple girls whose family was so impacted by poverty. I think she shares it really well.
My name is Emily Kavere. I am a social worker working with Christian Mission Aid, an organization that partners with Sauruni International. Part of my duties are rescuing girls from bad practices, that is FGM and early marriages. I also help in taking girls to school, especially during admissions after their grade 8 exams. I also help in organizing for social activities. I also help in taking girls to hospital when they are not feeling well. I am also in charge of organizing for the counseling session, especially for the girls now that they are rescued from FGM and early marriages. They need to be talked to be counseled so that they can be comfortable. In October of last year, 2019, there's an incident that happened to the two girls. These two girls are sisters. They live with their mother and they are partial orphan. They lost their dad last year in the month of March after their father had been sick for a very long time. Their mother is not able to fend for them because the women in the Maasai community are not allowed to speak, are not allowed to talk, and even to fight for their rights because their father wasn't there even to protect the family the way the father is supposed to. The village elders organized marriage for the girls behind their backs. Brenda and Salome are girls who were supposed to be married off last year by the month of December. The girls were only 12 years and 13 years, respectively. The girls were already booked for marriage because they were being told that they are already matured for marriage and their age mates were already married with children. They couldn't see how the girls of 12 years and 13 years were still in school, yet they are supposed to be people, old men's wives. One of the village member who is a good Samaritan and who is enlightened on girls' education came to the office and reported the case of the girls. The girls were in a very desperate situation. The girls have got 11 other siblings who are under the care of the mother. The mother is not able to take care of all those children because of the circumstances that is surrounding the home. The mother was so happy to receive us because she felt like now the hope of the girls will be rekindled and that we had come to rescue them. The mother begged us to take the girls with us because she wanted the girls to continue with their education. But our plea is, there's so many girls out there languishing in the bush. They don't even have anybody who can come through for them to go back to school. That's why we are here appealing to you that if you can just give us a hand, please give us a hand. We need you more than we've ever needed you. We need you this time so that we can be able to save more lives of young, beautiful girls who are out there, who are desperate. They don't have anybody to fight for their rights, but if you come through for them, we will be glad. Thank you.
Debbie, the first time I went to Kenya in 2006, I did a lot of reading and research to educate myself about the problems of the HIV and FGM and early childhood marriage. So I read a lot of statistics that were disheartening, hard to believe. But you know, nothing prepares you to look into the face of a statistic, to look in the face of a little girl and see the despair and the hopelessness and so much pain. An 8 and 10-year-old should not have this much pain yet in their life. And I looked at these girls, I mean, these little girls are the same age as my granddaughters. And, you know, I wrapped my arms around one of these statistics and it broke me. And the injustice enraged me. This was wrong. This is evil. These are children. These girls need to be allowed to grow up and have a future. And we just said, we've got to do something. We have to fight for them. Little girls all over the world are worth fighting for. And that's why we have our knockout round, because we are going to fight for these girls. And the people that come alongside us, those that come alongside us tonight, we are fighting for these girls that have no voice. We're fighting to knock out FGM. We're fighting to knock out early marriage. And we're going to fight to knock out poverty and the lives of little girls. We've rescued 117, but that's not enough. There's thousands of girls that need help. We could rescue a girl every day. It's a huge problem, but little by little, we can all do something. We can make a difference. We have, and we're going to continue to do that. They're a fight worth fighting for.
Absolutely. And you know, this seems, I mean, both of you have shared so much. We've heard from people who are there living, and it seems like a good time to start the knockout round. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe I'll jump in here for a minute and say, maybe we need to tell people why we called this year's gala the Now More Than Ever.
Perfect.
You know, we need your help now more than ever because of the situation and the circumstances that are in Kenya. The stories you heard tonight are stories that you could see every day, every week, every year, year in, year out. That's just life in Kenya. But because of COVID-19, this year has really been rough. The entire country of Kenya was closed down for about 4.5 months. Schools were closed down. They actually closed down the rescue center. And the government mandated that we send all of our girls back to the homes that they were rescued from because the government felt they'd be safe from COVID there. It ripped our hearts out. I mean, it just ripped our hearts out. Now we are working tirelessly to make sure that they're safe. We're doing everything we can from all of these miles away to make sure that they're safe. But also we need your help now more than ever because schools were closed. The entire 2020 school year was canceled. But we have 82 girls that are in our care right now that are going to go back in January and start school exactly the same place they were last January. Well, that means an extra year before we can get them to graduate. That's an extra year of administrative costs, food costs, all of those kinds of costs. So we need help with that. But even more than that, Debbie, because of COVID, there are thousands and thousands of young girls whose lives are really in danger because their fathers can't afford to take care of them for that extra year. And we need help now more than ever at this critical time to go and rescue as many girls as we can.
Thank you for sharing that. It really does drive it home. And for people, even if we weren't in a pandemic, but we are, and it is really critical. It's in a crisis situation. So I just want to remind everybody how to give. Of course, you can text Sauruni to 243-735, 243-735. You can visit BidPal at bidpal.net, N-E-T, /Sauruni, Sauruni. And so thank you for everyone joining us. And of course, if you need technical support, don't call me, but please do call or text Paul, 970-539-2527, and he will be able to help you out with whatever you need. So let's get started, shall we? I'm very excited for this part. Very excited. And I'm going to start with the dollar amount of $10,000. And I want to acknowledge, and I just ask you if you feel this. I mean, I feel like $10,000 is a lot of money, and I'm thinking that you two also feel that way. And I think it's important for people to know that yes, it is a lot of money, but it has a huge impact on the work that Sauruni International is doing. And I'd love for you to share just a little bit for people. What could $10,000 do for Sauruni International?
Well, we'd be pretty close to what it cost us to put a girl through 4 years of high school, which is $12,800 to put a girl through. So $10,000 with a little bit more added to it, we can rescue a girl and we can put her through high school for 4 years. We're going to need another dorm. So it would build about a third of a dorm. It would build half of a new bathroom and shower facility that we desperately need. So the more of these that we can do, the more work we can do, the more rescues we can go get.
Yeah. And I love that education piece. I mean, we know that the best way to pull someone out of poverty and despair is through education. We know that. So thank you. That's that's wonderful to hear. And so I've got some exciting news for you because we do have some people who have showed up at the $10,000 level. We have 2 anonymous gifts at $10,000, both coming from our fair city of Greeley, Colorado. So thank you to both anonymous donors out of Greeley, Colorado.
Thank you.
But not to be outdone, hailing from the lovely city of Austin, Texas, we also have 2 anonymous donors at $10,000. So you have 4 individuals or organizations that have stepped up anonymously to say, yes, we believe in this work. Yes, we want to give. And that's $40,000. And then we'll get to why there's some extra there, which is always good to see, right? So that is very exciting. If you're sitting at home and maybe you're saying, yes, I can make that commitment. That feels financially right to me. That feels emotionally right to me. Please go and do that right now. We'd be so grateful. And so, Mark and Tina, let's take that $10,000 and let's just, break that in half and talk about $5,000 and what could $5,000 do? Still a very big amount.
Well, again, we combine those dollars and put them together so we can rescue more girls. But one of the things that we do, Debbie, is we take sport camps to the schools out in the bush. No one else will go out there and work with them. But we take sport camps. And when we do, we feed 100 kids and 10 teachers. We supply everything they need for a week, teach them about HIV and AIDS and about the Lord. And so we would put those together. And those are just a couple of things that $5,000 would do.
That's amazing. And again, we know that sports,
that is a very empowering thing for a young girl to do, right? It's a powerful thing to be able to play sports. You have 2 more anonymous people who are choosing to be anonymous at $5,000. So stepping up at the $5,000 level, that's bringing us to $10,000 at that $5,000 level, which is so exciting. So again, if 5,000 speaks to you, please go ahead and donate that dollar amount now. And we are going to move on, and we're going to chat just for a moment about $2,500 and what could that do. Of course, every dollar does something and goes so far, but do you mind sharing what $2,500 could do?
Well, my first thought is that when we go and rescue a girl, it costs us about $500. We have to pay all the costs. We have to take them to court. There's court costs. And so $2,500, my first thought is it would facilitate us to go and have 5 rescues. So that's the first thought I have. We're going to need new solar, hot water, and electricity for the new dorm and for the new shower. $2,500 would pay for all of those. So just a couple of costs that are coming up. I see names coming across the top, and
Feel free. I know it's very emotional to see names coming up, especially people that you know and love. So please feel free to shout out and thank them, right? That's one of the beautiful things of being able to see that. I do want to say thank you to Allison Broda, who gave generously at $2,000. So thank you, Allison. We also have another. Yes, another anonymous at $2,250. So thank you very much for that generous gift. And then, of course, you can see the names coming across of people who are just giving at any level, and we're so appreciative of that. And so we're going to take that $2,500 and we're going to keep going down just a little bit, and we're going to stop at that $1,000 level and talk for a moment what $1,000 might be able to do.
Well, put 13 of those together, we can rescue a girl and put her through high school for 4 years. One of the things that we do is we love to be able to give the girls a bit of an outing. $1,000 would give these girls an outing into town, to a museum, something, really treat them well. We go to lunch, we go to dinner, we really treat them like the princesses that they are. $1,000 is a gift to them. I mean, it's just huge.
Yeah, it's amazing. And again, you're talking, I don't mean to belabor this, but you're talking about, yes, that's amazing. Yes, education, something that we in this country, many of us take for granted, right? We go, it happens regardless if we're a girl or a boy. We have access to quality education. And so thank you for sharing that. And we do have some people who are stepping up. We want to thank Mark and Joanne Hamilton at the $1,000 level. Thank you.
Thank you, Hamiltons.
Jim and Rona Rice family, thank you so much, $1,000. Rob and Linnea Dollard at $1,000. Thank you so much. Jim and Cindy Bogard. Yes, and I'm sure these names, you know many of these people, right? They love the work that you're doing. Cheryl Endress, $1,000. And Jim and Cindy Bogart are from California. So thank you for joining us all the way from California. We really appreciate that. Derek
Thanks, guys.
Yes, that's exciting, right? Derek Van Grau, $1,500. So thank you. And I apologize if I mispronounce. Please correct me, Tina and Mark, if I do. So very, very exciting that we have people, showing up. I just want to go back. We have Rich Histed at $3,200. Just came in. So really, for some reason, that number spoke to him as far as what that dollar amount could do in an education capacity. Denise Weidman at $2,250. So thank you so very much.
Thank you, Denise.
Yes, Scott Thompson at $1,000. Thank you, Scotty, very much. And so let's take that $1,000. We'll divide that in half and talk about $500, which might be accessible to quite a few people. That might be a dollar amount that feels really good to them. What could that do?
Well, my first thought right now is that it would supply, $500 would supply all of the girls what they would need for sanitary supplies, for bathroom supplies and all that kind of stuff, which is a real need. People don't think about how they could help it. They could do that in $500 for 100 girls. Takes care of us about 3 months for those kinds of needs. That's huge. It also would build 5 beds with mattresses for our new dorm.
Wow.
So good use.
Wonderful. Again, you just keep talking about things that we, at least I hate to admit it, have taken for granted in my life, right? So thank you so much. And thank you, Paul and Glenda Lyons at $500. Independent Banks, thank you so much at $500. We have James and Rita Buller at $500 and Colette McFarlane. And I want to say Tina Pullman is from California. So
thank you, Tina.
You must have a California group. I wonder if they all know each other, if they just all, joined independently. That's kind of exciting. So I love that. And of course, thank you, Paul and Glenda Lyons. They are longtime Sauruni supporters. So thank you for showing up and continuing to give support. We are so appreciative of that. And I only have 2 more levels to call. I have $250 and $100. So let's talk about that $250 amount and what that might do.
Well, again, 250 times 13, and we have a girl for a full year. And so it's huge what it does. And, we're going to have to be buying materials for the new bathroom. So you wouldn't believe how many bags of cement I can buy for $250 that we desperately need.
Absolutely. I can only imagine. So thank you so much to Ted Carlson, $250, Kaoli Lee, $250, Mike Huber from Colorado, $250, and thank you, Mike Hagan. Although, is he a relative or is this really Mark Hagan?
And a board member, son and a board member.
A son and a board member. Okay, I wanted to make sure it wasn't a typo. So thank you, Mike Hagan, for $300, and thank you, Tina, for $300. So grateful for that. And as you can see, our leaderboard keeps rising in the direction that we absolutely love seeing it go, because the more money that is raised, well, we know the stories, the more rescuing that can happen. So this is very exciting. And we have, one more level left, $100. And I want to just share something, Mark, that you said in a video that I watched that was so meaningful to me. And I want to share it with everybody. And I apologize if I didn't get it right. You can correct me, Mark. I know you can if I don't get it. But you shared something that said, once you know the story, right, you can't just say, oh, that was a great story, or that was a powerful story, or a devastating story, or a hopeful story, but I can't do anything about it. You just can't do that. And so we have all heard the stories of these girls, and now we can't sit back and not do anything about it. So if $100 speaks to you, this would be a great time to donate. We do have so many people coming in. Scott Blount at $100. Thank you, Michael and Deborah Kleiman for $75. Carrie Sanchez for $50. Thank you so much. Mandy Fable for $50. Brittany Vance, $100. Gijo Hudspeth, $150. Candy Smeltzer, $125. We have Jamie Bailey at $100 and Jamie Doddridge at $100 and Sam Silver at $50. It's just so powerful, right? When we all come together and just do little by little.
Let me jump in here.
Yes.
I feel like I need to give this African proverb.
Yes.
You can practice it with me, but the proverb just simply says, kidogo, kidogo, ujaza kibaba.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you to say it again, and I'm going to challenge everybody who's watching. We're going to do a call and response, although we'll never know if you're responding, but this feels like the right thing to do. So you're going to go ahead and do it, and everybody who's watching is going to respond.
So it's kidogo, kidogo, ujaza kibaba.
Kidogo, kidogo, ujaza kibaba.
Perfect. Come be our translator.
I love it.
The meaning of this proverb is little by little, the basket fills. So it's perfect in this situation. We got big baskets. We need a lot of different things.
Absolutely.
They can fill, as long as they're filled. Nobody knows whether it was a big gift or a little. The basket's the same blessing to those it goes to. It's fantastic, this concept.
You know, that's such a beautiful thing that you said. It doesn't matter. A full basket is a full basket. Correct. And it doesn't matter how it reaches the top. And so I want to let everybody know who's watching, if you're sitting at home and I didn't call out a dollar amount, you know, maybe you're sitting there going, Debbie, I was waiting for you to say $75,000 and you never did. Or maybe you're sitting at home, maybe you're watching with your family and one of your children or anybody is saying, you know, you didn't call out $10 or $15 and that dollar amount feels right to me financially and right to my heart space. Do it. You may donate any dollar amount. It's all greatly appreciated. And in fact, we are going to keep the link for giving. We're going to keep that open until October 31st. So if tonight doesn't work and maybe you want to think about it, I actually thought of, from my family, this is such a great opportunity to have a family experience on giving, right? And so that's the beauty of virtual events. I want to say you can sit around with your entire family and experience how powerful this is. And your children can see something meaningful and they can give from their allowance or whatever maybe in my house, I'll have them do extra chores. That would be amazing. Whatever it is that you need to do, it's just a really great way to get young people involved. And that's so important when we talk about this type of work. So Mark and Tina, do you have anything else that you would like to share with our amazing people who have joined us from all over the country before we close?
Well, yeah, before I share a couple of things, God bless each and every one of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
We know that these gifts are given from the heart. That's the most special thing. Believe me, we will make the most of every dollar given. A couple of things that you can do is, one, if you have any interest whatsoever in sponsorship, reach out to Maggie. Her information is going to be back up on the screen in a few minutes again. And so we would love to have you contact her and she'll get you that information. Two, come to the rescue center. Come on a trip with us. We've taken about 400 people on short-term missions trips. Come, meet the girls, work with us, come and be a blessing. I guarantee it'll change your life forever. And three, go ahead and give what you can. Every dollar. Ujaza, ujaza. I mean, kidogo, kidogo, ujaza, kibaba. I got ahead of myself there. Debbie, before we say goodbye to everyone, there's a very special thank you that we have by video that we really want to share with everybody. So please just watch this very special thank you.
Thank you.
Because of you, I was rescued. I'm in a safe place. I've got good health, and I love staying here at the center. Thank you for everything that you have done unto my life. Because of you, I feel happy.
You had removed me from poverty.
I eat well. I drink well. I've been rescued from many dangers. I'm not afraid anymore.
I've been saving my life.
Because of you, my life is good. I go to school. I'm doing well in my studies.
I've been able to finish my high school education.
I've learned many things.
I know how to type well. I know how to sew. I know how to bake. I'm so happy for that.
For the people that are supporting for me, it is because of you that I've been able to grow spiritually, emotionally, and physically.
Because of you, I have a good bed.
Because of you, I feel loved.
I have peace in my heart.
Because of you, I have courage and hope.
Because of you, I knew God better. I've got joy in my heart.
Because of you, I'm happy.
Because of you, I've learned much. And also, I've got to interact with many people.
And now I've made many friends. And I call them my sisters.
I want to thank you because of the way that you have been together with me. You have been supporting me, helping me pay for my school fees.
And because of you, I got the opportunity to achieve the main goal in my life. which is going through high school, and now I know that I'll still join a college.
I live and be proud of my life.
Because of you, I have known God better.
I know Jesus more than before.
I know that God has good plans for me because of you.
I know God loves me.
Because of you, that's why I've got a big smile.
Because of you, I know that God is going to help me and fulfill the desires of my heart to pursue my career.
I'm going to pursue my dreams.
I want to say thank you.
Thank you so much.
Asante sana.
Ashe.
Thank you so much.
Ashole. Thank you.
Asante sana. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Erokamano ainya.
Thank you.
Ashe.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Asante. Ndio muno.
Thank you. God bless you.
Ashe.
Asante sana. Thank you very much and be blessed.
May God Almighty bless you and expand your territories. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you again. Ashole.
He became sin, who knew no sin, that we might become his righteousness. He humbled himself and he carried the cross. Love so amazing, love so amazing. Yeah, Jesus Messiah, the name above all names, the blessed Redeemer, Emmanuel, the rescue for sinners, the ransom from heaven, Jesus Messiah is Lord of all. His body was bruised, his blood was shed, broken and poured out all for love. The whole